Melodies of life come circle around and grow deep in our hearts as long as we remember. Welcome to RPG Ranked, the channel where all your favorite RPGs are ranked. What's up? This is Brighton from RPG Ranked, and this is going to be the FF9 tier list, if you know what I mean. Seth can't show up today because, well, I mean, he could, but first of all, he's asleep because it's 3 a.m., and second of all, because he has never even played FF9, and that he would be useless. Anyway, so we are going to start off with Cinna. This guy is garbage, you know what I mean. You have him for one battle, and the only thing that he is good for is the fact that you can turn his hammer into the tin armor. He sucks. F tier, worse than Kimry tier. And if you're worse than Kimry, you're pretty dang bad, you know? Okay, so Blank. He's a little bit better than Cinna. He is in your party during the Evil Forest, I think that's what it's called. And, I mean, he's good in the story at least, and he's a pretty dang cool guy, you know what I mean? So he isn't too bad, but he isn't very good. I wish you could have him for longer in the game, but he still sucks, so worse than Kimry tier. Okay, then we have Marcus. So, Marcus is interesting, because he's just as bad as Cinna or Blank. You have him in your party for longer, however, there's one thing that makes him good, and that is because he can buff this girl to have the best stats in the game. So since he can buff Eiko so much, if you can use that blood sword thing and just like a turbo controller or like rubber band or whatever the heck you use, this guy can become built different. Like this dude right here is helpful. Is he good? Nah. But does he help? Yes. And I think he's better than, I think he deserves his own tier, the sacrificial character tier, because all he's good for is to buff up another character, but he's really good at doing that. So I'm going to put him in a different tier. Okay, this is where things actually start getting interesting and start making sense. So I am going to put Zidane in the niche tier. Only good at damage or support, and for him, he's only really good at damage. So Zidane isn't bad per se, and you have him in your party a lot, and so this is only based on the end game, by the way. So like that's why. So Zidane is better during like earlier in the game where you can steal, and he'll be doing a lot of damage just with his normal attacks and stuff. But once you get him like later in the game, all he can do is do normal attacks, and so he has one of the hardest ways to reach 9,999 in the game. You have to steal a ton, and I mean some people do steal that much, but if you don't steal that much, like you'll only be doing a couple thousand if not less damage of thievery by the end of the game. So it's kind of dumb if you aren't stealing all the time. So he yeah, so his thievery and steal commands are like the main reason you use Zidane. Some other cool things would be the Soul Blade, which Soul Blade is good because it helps you with status ailments, and it's really good for a low level game if you want to like not level up and just get AP, because you can like stone enemies a lot. But like he still isn't amazing. Like I don't think that, I don't know. Why is his head cut off on this tier? It's literally his body. I don't know what. Anyway, I don't think Zidane is good enough to go any higher than this. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, he's like the best character in the game, and I don't think that. And especially at the end game in the final dungeon where you can swap him out of your party, I just don't put him in my party. I don't think he's... Yes, he can do 9,999 damage, and his normal attacks are pretty good, especially with like MP attack, but he doesn't have the versatility that a lot of these other characters do, and I don't like putting him this low, and I know a lot of you guys won't like me putting him this low, but I don't think he deserves any higher, because you know what I mean, he just does damage, and that's it. He doesn't have any really good support things. It's just status ailments, damage, status ailments, and stealing is nice, but there are other characters that can do other things better. So overall, Zidane, niche tier. Okay, next we're going to go with Vivi. Okay, this is going to be controversial. I am putting him above Zidane in the versatile tier. Both good at damage and support. And why? Because with the right setup, Vivi becomes the best healer and multi-target damage dealer in the game. If you are able to have, what's it called? Absorb Dark on your, your armor, then you can use Doomsday and destroy the whole enemy team while healing yourself. Now, people are like, well, that takes forever. Like, absorbing dark, it's like really, really, really annoying, and you just don't see the reason to absorb dark when it just takes forever to set up and you have to base your whole strategy. But like, you're doing like 8,000 healing and 8,000 damage to everyone, and that's pretty dang powerful. Now, with outside of that, Vivi isn't the best. I mean, if you use like Amarant's chakra, you could just spam spells and you don't have to worry about MP. So I think, but he still doesn't do 9,999 damage very easily, and he doesn't do as much damage, but I mean, his double black and his Doomsday make him in the versatile tier. I think he's better than Zidane. Okay, so now we have Steiner, who I'm going to put below Zidane. I think he doesn't have like steel or soul blade, so he doesn't have any status ailments or any like thing outside of damage. So Steiner is just damage. And is he good at damage? Yes. But since he just does damage, I'm going to put him at the bottom of all of our main characters. Now, I think a lot of people are like, oh, Steiner's the best in the game. Well, yes. Again, like I said, this is at the end of the game. Steiner would be like really high in the versatile tier if this was, or maybe even like the best of the best tier if this was earlier in the game. But since this is, I'm just basing this off the end game, I think that Steiner just falls behind everyone. I mean, his armor's good, his HP's good, his stats are good. But since he only can deal damage, I just don't see why I would put him any higher, especially when all these other people can do damage easier, even not with 9,999 without having to use a bunch of MP on shock. But he doesn't have the supporting ability that attackers like Freya or Amarant do, or even Zidane. Zidane has more support than he does. So I just think that Steiner is great. He's still worth using. I mean, all the characters in this game are pretty balanced. You can use any of them and be fine. And well, not counting the ones that suck. But like, with Steiner, like, he's good. But he's not good enough for me to put him any higher. So next we have Dagger, who some people say is the worst, some people say is a better healer than Eiko. I don't agree with either of those. I think she's the second worst. So the thing about Steiner is that not Steiner, what the heck? Sorry guys, it's 3 a.m. like I said. Like, the thing about Dagger is she's better than Steiner, I think. So she, I think, is only good at support. While people are like, oh, her summons are so powerful. No, I think they're garbage. Because, like, well, I'll get to why I think they're good. But when it comes to damage, the animation takes 14 years, whereas I could just beat the battle with, like, literally anyone else, and so much faster. Yes, I know that's not really... I don't really care about how long it takes, because that's not what this is about. But it's really annoying to have to wait for that whole summon animation, even if especially if it's boosted, if you actually want to deal a lot of damage. And to be able, I know that her summons get better with jewels and stuff. Some people don't know that, and people are just like, oh, well, they're completely terrible. I don't think they're that bad. But the thing is, you find, so, like in the end game, most battles are either like one really hard enemy or a bunch of weak enemies, and using summon, it takes forever. You could just attack, and like, to destroy multiple enemies, you don't need a summon, you can just attack multiple times. So I find that Dagger is not really all that good. And yes, she's still good at healing, but Eiko's better at healing, and I honestly think Eiko summons are better, because here's the thing. Dagger, yes, can exploit elemental weaknesses, but if I'm going to exploit elemental weaknesses, I'm going to use Vivi. And Dagger just doesn't have the damage that these other characters have. She can't do 9,999 very easily. Like, I mean, Arc and Bahamut are like her only ways, or if someone's weak to something. And those take forever. They take a ton of MP, and yeah, they hit everyone. But like, I think just other people do damage better, and other people support better. So the reason she's above Steiner is because she can do damage and support. And the main draw to Dagger, in my opinion, is that if you have auto regen when you summon, the summon animations take forever, and then you can heal your HP. So because of that, she becomes a better healer than Eiko if you're just using auto regen, but she doesn't have the damage or the support. Like, Eiko has tons of... She has, like, full life, she has, like, holy, she can cast reflect and protect and shell on the entire party with one summon, and just, I don't see how Dagger can, like, own up to that. I just don't think her summons are good enough, or her healing, or her damage, to put her any higher. But I still put her higher than Steiner, because Steiner only has one thing going for him. Okay, next, we have Freya, who I'm going to put above Vivi. Freya is pretty good, and I think, so she, with Dragon's Crest, has the easiest way to do 9,999 in the whole game. I mean, Shock, yes, it is easier. However, this is really MP efficient, and you just have to kill 100 dragons. And killing 100 dragons, I mean, I've killed like thousands of dragons. I got to level 99 and stuff using the Grand Dragons. But like, just go kill a few Grand Dragons, and then you got one of the best skills in the game. And even outside of that, with like, she has a bunch of ways to heal HP and MP. So she has like Lancer, Reyes' Wind, and all these like support abilities that Steiner doesn't have. That Zidane doesn't have. Sorry, I couldn't even think of his name for a second. And he just, I mean, I'm just like assuming genders at this point. She, Freya, does not have like as good of stuff as some of the other people that I'm going to put on this tier, but Freya still can support and damage, which I don't think these guys really can do very well. So I think that Freya is better than Vivi, because she has like one of the easiest ways to deal 9,999 in damage. But since she isn't as good as some of the other people, but she can support and deal a lot of damage, and I think that Freya is just a really great character all around. And she has Steiner's armor for the most part, except for the tin armor. And since, I mean, if she can tank, like, this lady can do a lot. And I think that some people would put Freya lower, and I understand, it's fine. I mean, like I said, unless you put, like, I don't know, if you put, like, Dagger in first, I'll be like, that doesn't make sense. But for the most part, I think that, like, if you put, I would agree with your tier list no matter what you rank. Like, these guys are all very, very balanced. And I think that they did a really good job of that. So I think that, well, no matter where you put, like, Freya, I think that it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, so then we have Quina. If you have invested time in Quina, you know exactly where she's going, or he, I don't care. Like, it's, you know, we got our first, like, non-binary character in Final Fantasy or whatever, or whatever the heck Quina is. But if you've ever used Quina, you know that Quina's in the best of the best tier. Like, the damage, Frog Drop, 9,990, perfect. And then you have multi-target attacks, like Twister and Earth Shake, or whatever it's called, something like that. And then you have those, like, you can just deal damage to everyone, perfect. Then you have healing with White Wind, you have buffing with Mighty Guard, you have Limit Glove, which can carry throughout the entire game. This is only for the end game that I'm doing, but still, Limit Glove. And then Angel Snack, which is hard counter to Ozma and Necron and all those guys. Then you have, let's see, what are some other things that Quina has? Oh, level 5 Death can kill Grand Dragons and things like that instantly. Just Quina is built, like, Quina is just overpowered. I mean, yes, it takes a while to get blue magic, and some people don't want to invest in Quina, especially since Quina is not a very cool character in the story, but I think that Quina is just really, really powerful. And I mean, yeah, I think that you understand, if you've used Quina, that Quina just is the best. Alright, then we have Beatrix. Beatrix is going in the character that should have been permanent here. Like, Beatrix would have been so cool. Like, I mean, she would have just been better than Steiner. But, like, her Psychic ability and her white magic. So she has some of Steiner's abilities, and she has white magic. And, like, she would be so cool just with being able to have both of those things. And, I mean, what would work in this game is if you, like, buffed all the bosses HP and gave, like, Steiner, if you could give Steiner the ability to, like, break the damage limit. I think what would be perfect is if you gave Steiner the ability to break the damage limit and not other characters. So then he would be able to be like the best or one of the better characters. And I think it'd be more balanced if like Shock could break the damage limit, because that would make Steiner worth using. Now, with Beatrix, if she was a permanent character, she would be better than Steiner. She would be better than Dagger. Maybe even better than Zidane, because she has white magic and really powerful attacks. And she is balanced in both. Like, she'd be in the versatile tier, because that's what she is. She's versatile. She probably wouldn't be as high as Vivi, because she can't, like, destroy everything and heal at the same time. But the thing is, Beatrix just has a lot of stuff going for her, and the Save the Queen weapon is pretty dang powerful. So like, Beatrix is great, but she's just not permanent, and that's an issue. So sadly, I'm just going to put her here. Okay, now we have Eiko. Now this is going to be a controversial choice, but I am going to put Eiko at the top of the versatile tier. And that's because that's what she is. She's like, other than Quina, she's the most versatile character in the game. So she has the best white magic. So she can heal everyone. Like, I know auto regen. I know people love auto regen. But even with auto regen, like, I still find Eiko to be just as... Like, Holy isn't always going to do 9,999 damage. But that's what Medine is for. I think that's... Yeah. Medine can deal huge damage. And I know that Dagger can do that too. But Medine and Arc and Bahamut are all on the same level. So I can do 9,999 right away with Eiko. Not right away. I can do 9,999 with Eiko with Medine. Or I can go quicker and do a Holy and do double damage with the Light. Or I can cast Protect Shell, Haste, Reflect on the whole party. I think Haste, maybe not Haste. But those on the party with her abilities. Then I can get Jewels with Jewel. I can bring people back to life, full life, and just, I don't see why people think that Dagger's better. I mean, story-wise, obviously. I mean, Dagger is a great character, and we all love Dagger, and just, her and Zidane is great. But, like, Eiko just has more than Dagger, in my opinion. I mean, I don't really see what Dagger has going for her, except for elemental damage, and Vivi's better at that anyway. And the longer summon animations that help with auto regen. But Eiko's summon animations are still a slog to sit through, and they're still good for auto regen. So I just think that Eiko is the most versatile character other than Quina, and I think she deserves to be at the top of that tier. And the other thing, if you use the sacrificial character Marcus to buff Eiko, you become absolutely cracked. Like, she will have the best stats in the game, guaranteed. And I didn't do that because I didn't want to, like, break the game. But if you can break the game like that, Eiko might be on this tier even, just because her stats can be that good. But I just think Eiko is one of the most versatile characters in the game, and she deserves to be on the top there. Next, we have Amarant, which people either put Amarant at the bottom or, like, near the top. And I'm going to put him near the top. Amarant is my personal favorite character to use in battle. Now, is he the best? Like, story-wise, no. I kind of hate him story-wise. I'd probably put him in second to last place, story-wise, out of the permanent characters. Like, he doesn't... I mean, he's a cool character. But he's just, like, the one who doesn't talk. And he's like, I'm too cool for you guys. And he's just, like... I mean, yes, it takes a while to learn his abilities. Yes, he doesn't have as much damage as some of these people. But with no mercy, you'll still be doing, like, 9,500 damage. And that's enough for me. Like, I don't need that, like, extra 400 damage. And he can throw, which will get you super huge damage. But then his support is super good. Like, I mean, whereas Dagger's just outclassed with Eiko, just the healing-wise and stuff. Like, this dude has some of the best abilities. His chakra, which literally makes you can, like, spam things with Vivi, or Steiner, or anyone. Just anyone who takes so much MP. Chakra heals tons of HP and MP back. Like, it's such a good ability. And then we have, dang it, what's that one called? The auto life one. Aura. So it gives you auto life and regen. Now, yes, you can use abilities, but, like, if you, like, auto life, you die, and then that's it. I mean, you shouldn't be dying more than once in a battle, because FF9 is not that hard. But even still, like, I'd rather just use some MP to cast auto life on my characters than be like, oh, I'm gonna use like a million ability points to, or what are they called? The gem thingies, I don't know. To have to equip auto life. I'd rather just cast it. I mean, yes, Quina has it, but Amarant's is better, and he's because it also casts regen. And so Aura's great. No Mercy is great. What's that other one called that I was just talking about? Chakra. Chakra is one of my favorite abilities in the game, and all of it's just really good. I mean, I don't know why some people say Amarant's like so bad. I mean, he isn't doing 9,999 damage, but he is doing like in the 9,000s no matter what, and his support that he grants is better than any of the other attacking characters. So I think the Amarant is a pretty dang good character. So that is my tier list, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you're not too mad at me for putting Amarant and Eiko at the top of this list and putting the actually good characters story-wise in the niche tier. But thank you for watching. Please subscribe to RPG Ranked, ring the notification bell. We try to post videos every Saturday, maybe even more often once we get bigger, but please, we want all the support we can get so that we can make more videos for you guys. I have a Final Fantasy IV video that we just posted. This is the second video that we've made, so but I have Final Fantasy IV characters ranked that you can watch, and it's a pretty good video, I think. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like if you did, and I'll see you next time.